Hi guys, this is Deron, your Chinese lawyer friend. In today's episode, I would like to talk about the September new policy for foreigners working in China. On August 1st, China's Supreme Court issued a new directive on handling labor disputes, which will take effect starting from this September. In this directive, there are several articles related to foreigners working in China, things like how to define labor relation, the effect of a mutual agreement not to pay social insurance, the applying of non-compliance, the perks for service term. And let's go through it one by one. The first is labor relation. Different from the previous directive saying that only those who work in China with a work certificate or expert certificate plus work permit can be seen as labor relation. This new directive enlarges the scope to the following scenarios. Scenario 1, you are a China permanent resident status, or the so-called China green card carrier, and you work in China. We know that with the China permanent resident status, you are basically seen as Chinese, only without the political rights. You can live, work, travel in China like a Chinese, no more visas, no more work permits, no more denies from hotels. So this directive is basically emphasizing the point. Scenario 2, you have a legal work permit and a residence permit, and you work in China. This is the standard model of foreigners working in China legally. Scenario 3, you have got a permit to work in China by other administrative granted procedure. So we can see that the Chinese government is losing the requirement for labor relation. And the bottom line is, as long as you have legal permit to work in China, you will be seen as having a labor relation, and your rights shall be protected as an employee. And if the employer don't play by the rules, the labor law is there for you to protect your rights. The second point is the social insurance. The new directive makes it clear that any private agreement waiving the duty to pay social insurance between the employer and employee is invalid. Thus, the employee has the right to terminate the labor contract and claim compensation accordingly. After the employer repaid the social insurance to the employee, the employer can ask the employee to refund the overpaid remedies, which part of it is the social insurance. Some of you may know that there used to be a time for, in some regions in China like Shanghai, if the employer and the employee agrees that there's no need to pay social insurance, then there's no need to pay. And the employee cannot use this as an excuse to terminate the contract, further to claim the compensation. But this time, the new directive has decided that no more exceptions and all employers in China should pay the social insurance for the employees. Otherwise, they shall bear the consequences. And the third point is non-competes. We know that China is competing with the US in many tech areas like new energy and robots, and one of the key elements is the talents. More and more foreign talents working in China, working for Chinese tech companies. Many of those have signed the non-competes and NDAs. Sometimes the non-competes is being abused. There are cases showing that even junior sales or fresh graduate employees who have no chance of getting anywhere near the so-called classified information are bound by the non-competes. In this new directive, no more abuse with the non-competes. The scope, place, term of the non-competes shall be based on the facts. Anything beyond that is invalid. And the final point is the perks for service term. We know that in China, by law, employee have the right to terminate the labor contract before the term if he or she gives a 1 month advance notice. And there's a few cases that the employer can claim any compensations, which sometimes causes a lot of disputes. And this time, the new directive specifically mentioned that if the employer has offered perks beyond the salary for the employee to work for a certain term, and the employee breaks the agreement, then the employer is entitled to claim compensations from the employee. So that's all for today. If you have any questions regarding visiting, working, or doing business in China, you're welcome to contact me. Thank you. Bye-bye.